Hey, what's up guys? Today's video is going to be a tutorial on an aerial that I've heard people call the rubber arm, so that's what I'm going to call it in this video. And here's what the trick looks like. So basically what you're doing for this trick is you're bringing the balisong on one side of your body down and then kind of like jerking it up behind you so that it goes from behind you over your shoulder in front of you, and then you catch it with the same hand. So this aerial is kind of tricky because it's one of those aerials where you probably haven't done anything similar before, so it's not really translating from anything. It's kind of a unique one. Makes it pretty awesome to have in your vocabulary though, for that same reason. And so since there's like no real tricks that I can recommend to work up to this aerial from, I'll just give some tips that help me get started trying to figure out the muscle memory and everything for the execution of this aerial. First thing I would say is imagine a J when you're thinking of executing this aerial, and think of like the hook of the J kind of starts when the balisong is you're just like starting to yank it up, starting at, I'd say, the front of your thigh. The J starts, and then bring it behind your thigh and then up, and then that like upward motion should create kind of the straight line of the J, and it should kind of from there hooking, so it should go up in a straight line, and then over your shoulder it should hook forward again. I guess you can think of it as a C. It just works for me thinking of it as a J. Another tip that I got from Culturefile on Instagram was to start hooking up once you get to your pants pocket. So bring it down to around your pants pocket, and then that's when you start coming back and up with your arm. And then you release, I would say you release around like where your lat starts. I mean, it'll probably differ per person's body, but that's around when I start to release it. This might be, I would say, probably the toughest tip to integrate because it's going to be a little bit hard to get this muscle memory down. But this will be like kind of the best way, I think, to get it reliable. This is how I got it reliable, and that's to think of it as more than just your arm coming back and up. You know, the throw isn't just in your arm; it's also in your, I would say, in your hips and in your legs a little bit, and in your shoulder. So what you want to do is create room for the balisong to clear your shoulder by bringing that shoulder that you're throwing from, bring that one forward. Twist your torso a little bit and bring that shoulder forward, and then also get a little bit of knee bending, and then just kind of like, you know, push up with your legs to create a little bit of that upward force for the balisong to come up and around. Doing those things, coordinating all that together, will really get your, I would say, it would get your execution the most kind of fluid, and it'll feel natural once you get it down. So this move's kind of sick because there's actually a lot of flexibility going into it and coming out of it. Once I started to get comfortable with the whole aerial and I started to explore combos with it. So here's a couple of variations that I kind of found that I like. There's a specific one that I'm really liking right now. So for me, this is the toughest one to execute, going out of, I don't even know what the fuck this is called, but just kind of following that momentum and going into the aerial from there. This one's super tough for me to execute, but it looks pretty good. You could also try coming out of this behind the back aerial. And I actually like this one to go into the rubber arm the best. It actually feels better than just like doing it out of a standard rubber arm, because if you can just kind of take the momentum from that previous aerial and just go directly into this one, and it feels very effortless and very fluid. And then I think this is pretty cool. So coming out of the rubber arm, you don't catch it with the same hand, but you catch it with your opposite hand. And that's super cool because I think it kind of opens up a lot of stuff, because people are expecting you to catch it with your same hand, and even catching it with your same hand is a little bit more awkward, I think, like mechanically. I think when you catch it with the same hand, it looks a little bit more weird, you know, a little bit more like your wrist has to kind of twist and shit. When you catch it with the opposite hand, I think it just looks a little bit better in general. So that's basically it for the video. For these aerials, it's a little tough to do a full-on like technical tutorial. I guess this is more of like just sharing tips and shit to help you get comfortable with the aerial and see what you can do going into it and coming out of it, because I think that's where a lot of people kind of fall into a dead end with these types of aerials, is they're just like, you know, it's like they think of it as a standalone, where I try to give, you know, going into it, coming out of it, so you can think of it as more like a chain, or you could even go back into technical stuff after you catch it, but just, you know, think of it less as an independent trick and more of just like you wouldn't do like just a helix by itself. You do, you know, a trick going into another trick, going into another trick, make a fucking routine instead of just doing like one aerial and then thinking you're done, you know. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that it kind of encouraged you to try out this rubber arm trick, because it's fucking awesome once you get it. It's really fun. And I'm sorry about the delay on this video. I think before I might have said something like I was going to post every week, and that's definitely not going to happen. Just because I enjoy making the Instagram videos a lot more, and I don't always have time to work on both, so I always prioritize those Instagram videos more. But hopefully I can get a couple out every month. That would be my goal. That would be pretty sick. And yeah, I hope you guys just keep enjoying the content. All right, see ya.